Chinley? Well, okay, let's start at the beginning here.
Okay.
Could you tell us your name?
My name is Beulah Riggs West.
Would you like to tell us what you go by?
I go by Beulah West.
Oh, you're not going to tell them your sneaky nickname?
No.
No? Okay, then we'll start over again. We'll start over again, so we can just get rid of that. Could you tell us your name, please?
Beulah Riggs West,
Okay, and what year were you born?
1929.
Okay, and where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from right here in Portsmouth, but at the time of the flood, I lived in Adams County, Rome, Stout.
So how old were you when you moved from Portsmouth over to Rome?
I can't remember that. The thing that's outstanding was we were already living there, and my dad and my grandfather were tobacco farmers. They raised tobacco in Adams County on the Rockwell farm.
Was that interesting growing up that way?
Oh yes, very, very.
Were you part of helping, or did you just get to watch?
No, we helped. Everybody worked. No matter what age you worked, you helped with the farm and with the tobacco. We kids got to do the worming. Take the little can of kerosene, flip the worms off into the can of kerosene. And they died.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I wouldn't want to touch those little worms.
Hardly.
Let's see. We asked you to tell us about your experiences with the 37 flood. Would you like to tell us a little about that?
Well, in Rome, or down at Stout, Ohio, just water every place. We stood on the front porch. We were the only ones that were up out of the water, and food was very scarce. But the Red Cross came through and brought us potatoes and fruit. And there were 4 girls and my cousin, Dura Jewett, who was raised with us. And we had a lot of fun. We couldn't go anyplace, but we chased each other all over this big old farmhouse inside. And we would see animals coming down the stream in the water, dogs, cats, and then we would try to rescue them, but it was so swift you couldn't go off the porch.
So the water sort of came up to your porch then?
Yes, sure did. Yeah.
How did you try and get the animals going by?
A broom or a mop, and my grandfather would lay on the porch and reach out when they would go by and try to catch them. And but that was kind of grievous to see so many animals not survive. We didn't have much sickness though. People didn't seem to get sick. They made the best of the situation.
So what was the farm like when the water went down?
Oh, just mud and debris everywhere. Just you couldn't walk for the mud. And but Rome was nice and people were good down there. We survived. You just do.
How had the town changed, the town of Rome, after the flood?
Well, looks pretty much the same today. We were down there a couple years ago, drove down to that old farm just to see if it was still there, but it just kind of looks the same. You know, southern Ohio, we don't get much down here.
When did you move back to Portsmouth?
Well, we moved from Rome to Fire Brick, Kentucky, and We lived there, and we all went to school, one-room schoolhouse down there. And my mother persuaded my father to move us all to Portsmouth because she wanted us to get a better education. And it worked. So we had our own home to ourselves as a family on Mountain Street in Portsmouth.
Can't imagine a one-room schoolhouse.
We
What was
did,
that like?
8 rows, 8 grades. One teacher. Look how many teachers they have now per room.
Oh my. And how did the kids behave?
Good. We were there to learn. We were lucky. We had a school, even though it was a one-room schoolhouse. Good teacher.
How do you think Portsmouth has changed since the time you moved back to now?
People aren't as friendly, outgoing, and happy. Hard times brings happiness and love back for each other. So, but Portsmouth is, we moved back here in our old age from Florida because our daughter is here. And to grow old here, gonna be buried here. So, Portsmouth is good, it's quiet, too quiet. We want some big business.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think I should have asked?
No. Churches seem to survive, and we still have nice churches, nice communities, people, Christian people.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? I don't want to rush you.
No, but we did, we moved back to Portsmouth mainly for a good education, and we got it here.
So if you were on, you said Mound Street,
Mm-hmm.
what school were you going to then?
I was going to Highland School. And then we went to PHS. My husband and I both graduated in 1948. And where we live now, we found we're growing old with those same people, some of them.
Well, thank you for coming in. And do you, either of you have any sort of advice you would like to give the world through the through the interview?
Just stay healthy and active.
Faith and trust in God.
Oh yes, that'll get you through. Keep your faith and trust in the Lord. That's our hope.
Thank you so much for coming out here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting us, Grace.
No problem.